Hello, the internet. Welcome back to our little corner of said internet. I am OneManBluMan.
And I'm RixArt.
We are Britannica
We're
Industries.
Dinka Industries,
Yep.
and we hope you have a good. We'll get it. We'll get it.
we
We'll get it one of these days.
we've been working on a new intro for the stream, so welcome
Yeah,
back.
it's like a for those like way down in the past. It's like trying to record a voicemail for your answering machine.
Well, it's a really good one. Uh, Let me put the music back on this application that we have right here. Give me 1 sec. But yes, we are continuing where we left off last time in terms of production. RixArt, do you want to give people an update first?
All right, so as of a couple days ago, I finished scene 5. Now it's all done and completed, but today I'm just focusing on touching up a few shots that I felt looked a bit weird. Back to you, Blue.
Yep. I am going back over a shot I did last time. I just want to get a proper block out for it instead of just the layout that I had. But we're pretty much nearly done with Act 1, and we are hoping today will be a great stream as we talk about crime shows. So let's get into the work and talking about crime shows.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be adding like the list throughout, but let me just send it to you.
No problem. So, yeah. If you're wondering why we picked today's topic as crime shows, best way to describe it, we've both been on a weird binge of crime shows of late.
Yeah, it's like the great way. I don't know about you, but I watch these shows with my family, so.
I used to have a similar tradition in my family, but seeing that I'm the only one who watches crime shows now, we are in different locations. So we are going to be going over some good crime shows, some modern ones, some old ones.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone enjoys.
Yeah. So, just like in the list.
Yep, I've got it right here.
Yeah. I just chose all the shows that you and I both watched together, and some of the shows we both watched individually, but have talked to each other with. So there's like an idea here.
Well, I'll let you take the first pick. Which one do you want to talk about?
Alright, let's just go down the list I made here. Hey, what? Just to start off light. Hey, you're not picking up any background noise from me, right?
We're pretty good on this end, unless anyone on stream says otherwise.
Alright, cool. Alright, fine. Yeah, let's start with a nice, easy one. Let's start with Monk.
Monk. Okay. I enjoy Monk. Monk was one of those I used to watch with my mother of all people. And I love it. I love the concept of Monk.
Yeah.
Monk. So I'll let you take us off, because I think you watched it most recently compared to me.
Yeah, it came on Netflix about a year, like 2024, I think. It's long since been taken off, but we caught up with it recently on Prime. But before I get into that, before we talk about Monk, with the detective genre and with most of these shows we're talking about, there's kind of a formula going on.
Yep.
Most of it's like consultant and works with the police department. And name one famous detective that did that. Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, but he's also a fictional one as well.
Yeah, I know, but I like to think that shows that follow that kind of formula, it all goes back to Sherlock Holmes.
Well, I would completely agree with. He is, if I am correct, I might be wrong. I know he's the most famous detective, but I think he's one of the first fictional detectives.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was, but yeah, for these shows now, like you know, it's like there's this hyper competent person, and they consult with the police department, solve murders, and what have you, and that's the show. And it all kind of goes back to Sherlock, who had Watson and helps with Constable Lestrade. Or,
Yes.
I don't know like the Sherlock mythos as well, but that's like the formula for these kinds of shows. So when we get to Monk, you could say that at the time that was like a modern interpretation of Sherlock. Like Monk is Sherlock, Sharona for the first 3 seasons is the Watson. Then it goes to Natalie, and they help consult the San Francisco Police Department.
Yeah, it is one to one the Sherlock dynamic, and to be fair, that's what makes some of these great. And the thing that I love about Monk, and I think it's the reason why Monk stands out the most, I kind of love that he's a germaphobe.
Oh my, yeah, let's get into it right now. Monk is probably the best example of a courageous character in media. Like, he defines courage because he's afraid all the time.
He's afraid. I love the reason behind it as well. I love the reason it being that he lost his wife, who was murdered.
Yep.
Good, and that basically set him down the path of what he became, a germaphobe, terrified of going outside.
Something that I do, I love the detail of, he was always kind of like that, but when he met Trudy, his wife, those traits kind of just went away, and he worked for. So when he was with Trudy, he was potentially like the best of himself, and then when she was taken away, all those traits he had before just became worse.
Yeah. And I gotta admit, out of the shows we're going to talk about, I generally think it had the most satisfying conclusion on finding out who the murderer was.
Now you see, that was spoiled for me. Should we get into that?
Yeah, go in for it. We are talking about a show that's been off the air for nearly 20 years now, or...
Also had a movie. But yeah, okay, so it got spoiled for me because I know like the actor, like the main mastermind behind it.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a famous actor, so I found out, and I got spoiled on like the reveal. I love the final episodes. I do. Like, I do think that was like the best way they could end it. I did feel like it was just a little out of nowhere.
Yeah, to be fair, that's with most cop shows though. Like, going over the list we have, you can kind of say that about all of them.
Yeah, no, I feel like with what the character was, I think I would have liked it if he was there at the beginning of the season and we just got to see him maybe a few times beforehand. But I don't mind the twist. I don't mind the reason. Oh, even the mastermind figured out that the reason why he killed Monk's wife was really petty. But yeah, okay, so this was more my sister's show, like back when it was airing, I think.
Yeah.
Because she kept talking about how her and my mother used to watch it. I confused it with like another show.
Which
but
one
I was
did
always
you
kind of
confuse it with, just out of curiosity?
see. I don't know. I don't. Maybe Columbo.
Okay, that's a weird one because I need to confuse The Mentalist and Monk sometimes.
Alright, The Mentalist is on this list, and I assume you have more opinions to get, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I thought Monk was like this. In a way, it is kind of an old show. It was made in the 2000s.
Yeah, if I'm correct, it's closer to the 90s than it is the 2010s.
Yeah, it ended like 2009, so right before the new decade came in. And you know, it's kind of charming that way. It's like a...
It's a time capsule.
Yeah, I know. I wish I saw it when it was airing, but... Yeah, so 2024, when it came on Netflix, my sister was like, we have to watch this show. I didn't watch the first episode, I was busy doing something. But by the time I was there for the second episode, I was like, boom, got it. Yeah, love the show. To this day, I still haven't seen like the first part in full.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know, I like always stop myself from watching the first episode. Like I watch the other episodes like on repeat, but not the first one for some reason.
To be fair, I can understand, because for me with Monk, I've seen the finale, I've seen quite a bits and pieces of it, but I've never sat down and watched the whole show itself. So it's one that for me is very episodic. It is, I can put an episode of Monk on and I will not find myself lost.
Yeah.
Lost. It was always one of those TV shows for me at the end of the day. What makes it one of the standouts for what we have? I know quite a lot of what we've got on this list was definitely made in the time where episodic was definitely the main thing. But
I missed episodic TV shows.
I do too. It's definitely a lost.
Yeah, it's like you know, TV shows being shortened down to like 6 episodes, and that's not even UK television.
Yeah, that's
you lose that comfort, and it kind of makes it hard to make sure every character gets like a time to shine.
Yeah, and with Monk, because this is what I mean. All the characters had personality. All the characters had.
Yeah, and it wasn't a large cast. It was like these 4 central main characters, 5 if you want to do it like collectively. Actually, no. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mentioned them earlier, but Monk because of his conditions, he had to have a caretaker, and that caretaker was Sharona, and then she later became his assistant when he got back to police work.
Yeah.
But kind of. So, you know, for the first 3 seasons, that was that. And Sharona was a very good character.
See, I remember the first one quite well, but I think I recognised the second one a lot more than the first one.
I think she was in more projects. Maybe that's why you know her from, but she was definitely in the show longer. Because, okay, so Sharona is a former nurse, and she's a mother. She has a dirtbag husband, and generally she is the fire that kind of gets under from Adrian's butt.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like she's, I would say, like aggressive older sister.
Yeah, and that's what I like, because a lot of TV shows now would make it a romantic relationship where why can't people just be friends? Why can't people just be friends or have a sibling type relationship? Where did that disappear in media?
Yeah, I'll get into that for another one of these shows I put down later, but you know, it's like Sharona was mostly like a caretaker to Monk, and she pushed him, and you know, it's like Monk is like sometimes can be a very selfish person.
Yes. He cares more about his own comfort sometimes than other people.
Exactly. So yeah, you know, like Sharona was a no-nonsense woman. That was her character. And then behind the scenes stuff, you know, pay disputes and stuff like that. Tony Shalhoub was a very big actor. I think to this day, he's still the biggest actor from the main cast to still be working. And so in the middle of season 3, Sharona's actress Biddy Scram, I think that's her name. Yeah, so she left, and they had to get a new one. So they hired, what's her, Taylor something. Anyway, so Natalie came into the show, and Natalie was kind of Sharona, like she was a mother of a young daughter, and her husband was killed in action, and then you know, when she met Monk, she was a bartender and just decided to work for him. And you know what? She's also a very good character.
Hmm.
Like like I know people like love Sharona and all that, but I also think that Natalie was also, because she wasn't just like a Sharona replacement. Like she had similar characteristics, but you know she was she had a very different dynamic with Monk.
Yes.
And when Sharona came back for that one episode, you got to see it. Like Sharona was like fire, but Natalie's like water. You know, she was like a younger sister to Monk.
Hmm. I know what
In
you
a way.
mean.
Like, and there was very much an employee-employer kind of relationship. Because Sharona always called Monk by his first name, but Natalie always referred to Monk as Mr. Monk.
Yeah. But here, okay. Before we move on to the next one, because if you haven't seen Monk, I don't want to spoil much for you. Although we've talked quite a bit in terms of the spoiler territory. What's your personal favorite episode?
Oh wow. God, I know I had one.
Because there's always one that stuck out for me.
Yeah.
It's the really fat guy episode. How did a fat guy kill this person?
Oh, okay. So yeah, we mentioned that Monk was, you know, Sherlock.
Yeah.
The fat guy, Dale Beiderbecke, the whale.
Yep.
He's Moriarty.
And he was great. I love that. Like Monk's like trying to figure this out and goes, won't spoil how he figures it out, but it was a great reveal and I love that. It was.
Yeah, it was. It's an early season 1 episode. There's also something to mention with the whale. With each of his 3 appearances, there's always a different actor.
Well.
Yeah, like. There was a different actor for season 1. When he came back again, it was Tim Curry, and then when he came back for the last time, it was a completely different. Maybe it was the fat suit. Who knows? But yeah, okay. So for my favorite episode, it's the astronaut one.
Nice.
Like we mentioned before about how I thought that Monk was the most courageous character, and that episode exemplifies it.
I completely understand. Monkey's one of those shows, if you haven't watched and if you're a much younger person listening to this, check out Monk. It is pretty much a 2000 vibe TV show.
Yeah, easy to get into. You love the characters. We haven't mentioned them, but Captain Stottlemyre and Lieutenant Disher.
Yes, thank you for forgetting his name. I love
Randy Disher.
Yeah,
was the comic relief. Like the comic relief.
Always perfect. That casting was just perfect with everyone, and yeah, highly recommend. Here's the question: do you think Monk is dated compared to the other shows we're talking about on the street?
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I easily go into the show, and I didn't grow up with it, and I'm like in my mid-20s right now, and I was still able to identify with Monk and get into the cases, and the characters made the show.
Yeah, and it's one of those. And I will say this with Monk, it's one of the better adaptations of a disabled character.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it was.
Given everything that's the whole big craze in modern media, it is a breath of fresh air just having the good representation when they weren't even trying back in the day. Like,
like in these kinds of cases, like there's never any names for it. You're just like, if you infer it, then you infer it. That's
and that will, you know what? Maybe that should bring us on to our next pick. Let me choose.
All right. Do you just wanna? All right. So, and also, the Randy Newman intro song was top tier. I don't know why everyone hates it. I love it. Moving on.
Oh, let's go with pick that it's been a while since I've watched any of it, but I still got quite a few episodes. Let's go with Cold Case.
Alright, so you're gonna have to take the lead on that one because I've never watched it.
Let me just get up on here. Hold on. So yeah, Cold Case is what it sounds like. It's pretty much a series about a couple of basically detectives investigating cold cases. It's been a very long time since I've seen it, so I'll try and get it up. It's another 2000, so 2003 to 2010.
Yeah.
So it's set in Philadelphia. Basically, the lone female detective of the homicide squad finds her call in when she's assigned a cold case. And that's pretty much the premise. Lily Wass is the detective, and I remember watching this in a certain time of my life. It's one of those shows that genuinely stick out because it comes from that time period. So I have not watched the whole show, but it's one of those that I've watched enough of it. It's got a great cast. I generally enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I'm going over through here, but general premises, cold cases, and it's one of the few things that I generally find myself enjoying out of detective shows, is where they go out their comfort zone. So, good example of this is there's hardly any modern evidence for these cold cases, and it's interviewing people from that time period. And seeing that this will be a genuinely quick one, my favourite episode of Cold Case is set during the first moon landing. Then essentially this kid goes out and they find his body in a stream in the woods, and it's generally good because not a lot of people are still alive from that time period, and it's investigating on what actually happened to this kid. Was it an accident? Was it murder? And who done it? And it turns out it was one of his newly acquired friends at the time. He was a loner. He was a nerd. He made a group of friends. And they were basically they basically did this whole thing where they made a rocket and they shoot it up in the sky as Neil Armstrong lands on the moon. And this one kid who had problems ended up taking his life. I believe it was an accident, but it is a bit fuzzy, but it's one of my favourite episodes.
Alright. I'll have to keep that in mind for when I watch it.
Yeah. I'll let you pick the next one. Cold Case is definitely one I can quick. It does have things moving along for in season, but it's not one that I can on the top of my head. It's been a while, but it's one that it's an enjoyable watch if you enjoy it. So RixArt, I'll let you pick the.
You have that recommendation.
You've got any more questions?
And no, I think that's it. I remember you hyping it up to me some time ago. It's on my list.
Yeah.
Planning to watch it. I just have a lot to go down. But yeah, on the topic of cold cases, let's talk about like a relatively new cop show that came out last year that I'm very much a fan of. It's called Department Q.
Oh, you're gonna have to explain to me. I haven't heard of this one, so give us the lowdown.
Alright, so last last year Netflix released a show based on a Danish book series.
Okay.
I think that it's very different, but for the show, it's based in Scotland, and Matthew Good plays a detective.
Hmm.
First 10 minutes of the show, he and his partner went to a house call. There's a young police officer there. They hang around the house. There's a man dead, and then 1 minute in, they all get shot.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that young police officer's dead. Matthew Good has got a bullet through the neck, and his partner Hardy is handicapped. For now, but like some plot stuff moving, yada yada. Matthew Good's character Carl gets assigned to a new department, Department Q, which handles cold cases. And Carl's not like really into it. He's been shot and obviously he has his demons and stuff. But another character called Akram, a Muslim character, which is why I got into the show. He's a former quote-unquote police officer from Syria. We don't know his full backstory yet, but that's what he presents. He's the one that kind of pushes Carl to kind of say, these cold cases can be solved, we just need to solve them. So the first season kind of tackles their first cold case together.
Okay,
and
so it's a
it's
season-long cold case. I'm intrigued.
I know I've always gonna be like episode by episode, but it makes it work because I love the characters, I love the story, and I love the cold case. The cold case being the disappearance of a prosecutor called Merritt Lingard. And throughout the show, we get to learn all these things about Merritt, and you learn that she's not really a good person. But you also learn the reasons why she's the way she is, and why she was kidnapped.
Huh.
Yeah, but I won't spoil the show, and you can go ahead and try and pick the next one. But I highly recommend it. Season 2 is being filmed right now, and I'm all here for it. Like, I love the show. I've watched it a bunch of times.
Part of you that actually gonna have to be something on my list then, because that generally sounds right up my alley as someone who enjoys those type of cases.
Yeah, and it also has like humanity and humor in it. It's like watching an episode of Criminal Minds, and we'll get to that show, but it's like it's a thriller drama foremost, but the characters in it make it watchable.
Okay, and with that brings me on to essentially what I consider the GOAT of at least the list that we've got for this stream, Criminal Minds. Now, I'm going to say this all up front. Criminal Minds is a show that went on way too long for what was needed. For anybody who hasn't watched it, just watch the first 7 seasons. You will be happy by the end of those 7 seasons. Since it's one of the few shows that I will say don't go past a certain point.
I think that's the curse for any show. If it goes on for too long, then it kind of forgets
its premise.
Or in case of Criminal Minds, it just became more grittier and trying to be more larger than life, which is why me and my sister stopped watching.
Yeah.
In season 9, I think.
Yeah, you stopped around the same time I initially did until my most recent rewatch of the show.
Honestly, after the Luke Skywalker villain, we just we just had enough.
Yeah, what's completely understandable. I with me, Criminal Minds has, at least in its 7 seasons, what we'll mainly be talking about. It has 3 distinct forms. It has the first 2 seasons, what is the Gideon era, and
Yep.
this is the same with the actor, because he left because of its grittiness. And to be fair, I can't see his criticism. I can understand working on that type of thing, that it might be quite hard, but
Yeah.
I was always there, like, and this was the unfortunate thing with Gideon's character. He was the main character of the first 2 seasons.
He was.
And when he left, they had to make the remaining cast more of a focus. Because this is why the first 2 seasons, like the first one, solid. Season 2, though, mwah. Season 2 was great. Then we get into its stretch of the golden era, what starts with season 2, and most fans say ends with season 4, 5. I personally say it ends with 5, and this is when we get Rossi added into the mix, and the cast was great because it's all about profilers and profiling serial killers. Sorry, I'm just having a drink, and
Alright, so
yeah,
like I would say Gideon was like the biggest departure from the show, but beforehand, you do have like some characters leaving
yes,
throughout even now, and some of them come back, some of them don't. Elle was the first person to leave, but then we got Paget Brewster,
yes,
and I love Paget Brewster. Her character, not my favorite role of hers, but the fact that she could play a role like that, props to her.
yeah, because over the course of the 7 seasons, our first one to go, as Rex mentioned, was Al, who I like the reason why she left, because she's the newcomer of the team.
Yeah.
Team in the beginning. And I genuinely like the reason why she left. I won't spoil it. I won't spoil the reasons why some of these characters leave in universe. RixArt knows more about the real world side than I do.
Yeah. I think for Elle's actress, I think it was just filming. Like, because she didn't live where they were filming, so she had to travel there, and it was just like messing up her schedule or whatever, and so she left.
Well, it's understandable. I know with the action of Gideon, it was just what the show was actually tackling that made him leave.
It was bleak, and the fact that they could continue the show for like 30 years, I have no idea.
Yeah, it went on a while. It got a total of 14, 15 seasons by the end.
Yeah, and now it's spin-off.
Yes, spin-off, as well as a revival.
Yeah, I was talking about the...
Uh,
But yeah, revival, and some of the old members from like season 1 are still there. Penelope is still in the show.
yes. Penelope,
Best character.
the only actress not to leave, no, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, it was Reese, Penelope, Rossi are the only characters from the earlier seasons that stuck around by the end.
Okay, you're also missing JJ.
Oh yeah,
Reed was the only one to appear from episode 1 to the end of the original show.
yeah, in every episode if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, he was in every single episode, I think.
And he's the autistic coded character.
Yeah, the smart guy, yeah.
Not just that, Reese is one of those characters I love his development. He's the kid of the team. He's what, like 23, 4 when the show begins. He's in his early 20s.
Yeah, he was 24. Yeah.
Compared to everyone who was 30 up for everything.
Yeah.
You then get why am I forgetting his name? He became the main focus of season 4 and gets shot at the end of season 4.
Aaron Hotchner.
Yeah, Hosner.
Okay, let's talk about this guy.
he
is him.
Yes, he was.
He is him.
And it's the same what happened later on, but yes, yeah. he is.
Like, to me, he is like the leader. Like, yeah. Whenever I think of like the leader, mentor archetype, he is now in my top 10.
Yes. Hotzner's character, in my personal opinion, has the most development in the 7 seasons.
He did. He is. And then after Gideon left, he kind of became the sad sack.
Yes. Well, to be fair, the writing gave him that at the end of the day. I mean, his wife divorced him. He could hardly see his son. Then season 4 happened. And what?
Yeah. but
I'm controversial on this. Season 4 isn't as great as season 5.
I know the ending of season 4 just messed me up.
Yes. Yeah, oh, the pigs, man, those pigs.
Oh. Yeah.
That. Still, though. Yeah. You then after Hot, you have Morgan. Yeah, it's Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan.
Who, because I wasn't watching the show at the time in the later seasons, but when he's left, that's when the show sort of ended. When Hutz and Morgan left.
If my sister and I had continued the show, we would have stopped like immediately after those two had left.
Yeah, and to be fair, props. I know why Morgan's actor left. That was to star in SWAT.
I never watched it.
It's a series of the movie by actor of Mace Windu. Why am I forgetting this famous actor's name?
Forrest Whitaker?
No, Mace Windu.
Oh, Forrest Whitaker was in a Criminal Minds spin-off, but yeah, Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson. He left to do a series based off a Samuel Jackson movie. I know that because I watched the movie before I watched SWAT, the TV show. But yeah, the season, and then, like I said, the characters are what makes you come back. They have great serial killers in this. Frank is probably still my #1 villain.
That's the one for Gideon, right?
Yes. You then have the Reaper, who I thought was definitely the smartest.
Yeah, he is definitely the one that I think did the most damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank also caused damage, because what he did caused Gideon to leave.
Yes. And it's the same how the actor felt about the show, because I would have loved for him to have come back for at least a episode, but...
Well, what can... Now, he was doing Quantico, right? No, Homeland.
Yeah, Homeland.
Homeland at the time. I never watched that show, but...
Me, but that was my girlfriend's show. But... yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about, I don't know, like that one episode where you just had to stop watching for a while.
Okay. That would be so what? There's one that leads up to the one that makes me have to stop watching, and there's for a little bit just because of its content, and then there's a couple that I really enjoy. So one that is etched in my brains, and it's the first Criminal Minds episode I ever watched.
Yeah.
It was with the actor from Malcolm in the Middle, Duel, and he was a comic book artist, and
Frankie
he
Muniz,
basically survives this mugging where he's basically asked his girlfriend to marry him, said yes, she was pregnant. They basically get tortured and brutalized by this gang, and subconsciously he goes on a killing spree of this gang.
Yeah, he had a DID, right? That was the diagnosis.
Yes, I believe it was. Like, that one's etched in my brain, but the episode that makes me just need to stop watching is the Gypsy episode.
Yep.
In context, it's pretty much these gypsies kidnap this 10-year-old girl so she can marry their 10-year-old son. That's the episode that makes me not want to watch anymore.
Yeah, I think we stopped watching for like a week or so after that one because well, they managed to stop those parents.
There was more of them.
Yeah,
that was the reveal at the end,
and the sick thing is the mother of the parent. She was previously a 10-year-old girl that was stolen from her family to marry someone else's son.
Yeah, and
she's just like completely conditioned to do it again to another girl.
Yeah, and it's explained that there's a laws of network. And as far as I'm aware, they never go back to that episode.
Yep.
Episode.
I think that's like a theme sometimes. That's not like a complete victory.
Yeah.
Sometimes just evil wins.
And yeah, we mentioned Frank. Frank is definitely one of those that.
Okay, let's talk about the Prince of Darkness.
Yep.
Because on our rewatch of our mother and stuff, we stopped watching after the Reaper. That was enough for us, because we did not want to, like, relive, like, the worst episodes that came after that.
Yeah. What?
But yeah, the Prince of Darkness, Tim Curry, like, a great actor, great man, but he creeped me out in Criminal Minds. We had to stop watching for like a month or so after his episodes.
Yeah, because I like the Reaper's concept. He did this big killing spree, made himself out to be one of the serial killer's victims, so he would be taken off the list of suspects. And then the Reaper comes back, they basically went, oh, it's him, and he basically makes the same deal that he made with the detective who was coming after him to Hutch. He goes, you let me go, I'll stop killing, and I won't do it again until
you die. And that guy took the deal and he was near death.
Yeah, and then the Reaper comes back, and then they're trying to find him, and then Hutch gets the same deal, and he tells him to suffer it off with the sun doesn't shine. And that leads to basically Hutch becoming a single parent.
Yeah.
Kind
of.
Because it leads with him being shot first, his wife going into what's the word?
Hiding.
Yeah.
Witness protection.
Witness protection, and then the Reaper comes back and gets his pound of flesh, but Hutch ends up killing the Reaper.
In a very brutal fight.
Yes, and definitely one, if it was anyway realistic, he would have lost his job. He would have lost his job after that.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, but before like we move on and stuff, I always get kind of annoyed whenever the bureau the bureau tries to threaten the behavioral unit.
Hmm.
The BAU.
Yeah.
Yeah, the BAU. It's like, why? Okay, so the context being is that the BAU at the start of the show is like a new-ish department, kind of.
It's in the context of how old the FBI is at that time when the show is set. It's only been around. It only became its own separate department recently.
Yeah, it's been like what? I would say within a span of like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, because the show starts what, mid-2000s, and it's implied that
2005.
yeah, and it's implied that the BAU's been around for at least a decade or so officially.
Yeah, so, and I guess with these department types now, it's like you have to justify your department's existence.
Yeah,
And then, whenever they have to, like, try to play politics, I don't know, it feels like a little insincere.
yes, and
Melodramatic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you need us and this team.
And
okay.
This is the one thing with all park shows. We know it has some involvement from the police department, so they do dramatize quite a bit. And seeing that this is generally from the FBI's point of view, there is a lot of dramatization, because at the end of the day, the FBI doesn't really cut people if they can get away with it, or departments. It's, you know anything about government, it's more expand, expand, expand.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's a lot like a naive kind of thing that I'm looking at it. Like, why would people want to get rid of the unit that originally has a pretty high closure rate?
Yes.
But it's like to me it's like a TV melodrama kind of thing, just so the characters can like go up to their superiors and say, hey, what? Let us do us. You do you. That's fine.
And it's one of those things we all know at the end of the day. But Criminal Minds, first 7 seasons, probably one of... For me, it beats CSI. It beats the CSIs and all that in terms of...
Yeah, I feel like that's it. I think even the writers and the producers knew that the end of season 7 was like a good way to end it, and then they kept going because season 7 ended pretty happily.
It ended with a family. You had some characters. Had one character who was leaving because she got a better job offer.
Okay, so before just to get into it right now, at the end of season 5, JJ and Emily's actresses were let go by the studio.
Yes.
To get like new female characters in and stuff. So they were treated poorly, but the fans didn't like that. So by season 7, JJ came back and Emily had like this entire story arc centered around her for better and for worse.
JJ came back. It was season 6 JJ came back. He was out of season 5, yeah. It was season 5 she left. Yeah?
Season 6 she left because it was like pretty connected to Emily, right? No. Because when Emily died, there was another character there, Ashley Seaver or whatever.
Yeah, she came in season 6. Hold on. I can get you that. I'm pretty sure it's season 6.
Because end of season 5, that was Prince of Darkness.
No, you were right. It was season 6. Yeah, it's season 6 he's left, and it's at the end of season 6 he came back.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, Pradgett Brewster was like really annoyed by the studio, so she stayed on for season 7 and was just ready to go.
Yeah.
And she did a couple of sitcoms, stuff like that, and then when Hotch, actor, was fired, they later convinced her to come back to the show, and she's been in the show ever since.
Yeah. See... Well, again... is a shame what happened with Hotz, because I believe he punched the producer, if I'm correct.
Kicked.
Kicked. Yeah. Well, to be fair, when you're on a long-going show of that, there's a little bit of... It's kind of like what happened to Clarkson on Top Gear.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the moment where the shows went, okay, you kind of should end... I'm pretty sure it ended, what, 2 seasons after that?
For Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
No, it went on for quite a bit, I think.
Because... I'll get that up now, because...
I think it was like, what, season 13 Hotch left? Actually, no, you may be right. It may have been like 2...
Oh, yeah, no, it was... 19 seasons. Wow, okay.
And it was season 12, I think, that's when he left. Yeah, season 12.
Well, again, shame. It was Hotz, Morgan, Reese, Penelope, JJ, all were the surviving members of season 1.
Alright, so...
Who?
Yep. Alright, so Hotch left 2016, and the original show ended in 2020. So yeah, you were kind of right.
Yeah, it was a few years later. I was off few marks.
The revival is called Criminal Minds Evolution.
Yeah.
And it's been continuing for better and for worse.
Yeah, it didn't need a revival. Criminal Minds is one of those shows where they wanted to make a sequel series with having some of the original cast members still there. I probably would be a bit more sympathetic for it, but went on too long for its own good.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel. It's like a soap opera, right? And soap operas go on for like episodes and episodes, and they're older than most children these days.
Yeah. It's just the unfortunate thing of being essentially in entertainment now. They will milk a good show for as long as they can. Damn how good the quality is. It's probably why in the modern era of live television, it's all sports.
Yeah.
Because sports will have cycles of popularity and lull periods. Speaking as a wrestling fan, that's normally how it all goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Criminal Minds, definitely my favourite on the list we have. So, yeah. RixArt, which one are we going to talk about next?
Okay, okay, you know what? Let's talk about Psych.
Okay, this is one I haven't watched, so you would have to...
Alright, so, Psych, to me, is like a successor to Monk, in a way.
Okay.
Because it was on the same network, and stuff like that, and I remember... And I watched some promos they both did together. So when Monk ended, Psych kind of took the slot as like ABC's prime detective show. I think it was ABC. Well, whatever network it was on, but Psych follows the story of Sean Spencer, who was raised by his cop father Henry to kind of be the best detective ever. So it Henry made sure that Sean knew how to analyze situations, people, stuff like that. And then in the first episode, he gets into trouble because he would routinely call in cops and tell them some clues he spots on TV. And the cops catch wind to that, and to save his neck, he says he's psychic.
Huh.
And that's the show. And he and his best friend Gus, who's a pharmaceutical sales rep or something, together they open up a detective agency and kind of go and kind of trick the police department into thinking that they're psychic.
Okay.
Well, he's psychic, and that's the show.
I'm gonna have to watch this show now. That's
It's such a fun show. It's a real fun show.
That's making me intrigued. I won't lie.
Yeah, and so when me and my family finished Monk, Psych came on Netflix, and that came at a good time because I was really interested in checking it out. And so yeah, we've watched it, finished it, and yeah, it lives up to the hype. It's a really good show. I love the characters. And it's kind of in the same universe as Monk.
Okay.
It's like the Psych finale came and one of the characters moved to San Francisco and they make like a mention to Monk. So, in my mind, they take place in the same universe.
Oh, right. That makes me wanna...
But yeah, you would love it. Sean and Gus, to me, it's like the best representation of male friendship. Because like Gus just he doesn't like judge Sean for lying. He just goes along with it.
Okay.
And it brings out some of the best moments in the series. There's Jules, who was introduced in episode 2 as a love interest for Sean. I love her relationship with him. There's Lassiter, one of my favorite characters, because he's like this really hardened, kind of sad cop,
Yeah.
right? But you know, he's still a very funny character, and just how he like bounces off of Sean and stuff like. It's the actor who plays Kane in Supernatural.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, Timothy Otmanson, yeah.
I'm gonna have to check Psych out now. If it's still on Netflix, it's definitely something I'm gonna check out. It sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, you bet.
See, even this for all those that are watching live or afterwards, yeah, no, definitely something for me to watch. Because yeah, no, that sounds like it's right up my alley, and I'm always up for stuff like that. But yeah, the concept alone is interesting. Any standout episodes for you?
There is there are the Yang episodes, but I would say like the last part to that kind of had a disappointing resolution, I would say. But the first 2 episodes of that, the best the show has ever been. Trying to think of like episodes that. Oh wait, yeah, okay. So there's like a Hangover episode.
Huh.
And to this, it's still my favorite episode of that entire show.
Okay.
It's like the male characters like get drunk one night, and they wake up and they think they're murder suspects.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like another supernatural character is in the episode. Zachariah from like one of the angels. Like that actor. He's a recurring character, and he's like also very funny. But yeah, Psych, one of the best shows ever. Go watch it. It also got taken off Netflix, so wherever you can find it, go watch it. I love it. I love it to death. Alright, so you got anything?
I've got a show. Give me 1 sec. I just need to go check on something. I'll be right back. I do have a pick, something that both me and you can talk about, so give me 1 sec.
Alright, cool. Also has a really baller theme song that for certain episodes they would change like the rhythm and stuff. Like I don't remember the context of the episode, but one of them was like a Boys to Men kind of rendition of the song. And there was like a Bollywood episode, so they did it in like a Bollywood style. At least I think. Who knows, but it had a great cast, it had great episodes. I sincerely do. Sean can be a bit of a like a div. You know, it's like sometimes he kind of goes too far. I feel kind of, but you know that's the show, and like that's the show, and all the other characters like call him out on it, and you get to see him like work to be a better detective, and you know, it's like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck just forming a detective agency. That's the best way I can describe it.
Well,
And Elmer Fudd is Lasseter. Yes, yes. Okay, I got it. So what show, dude?
so next show, something more modern or something a bit more older?
I don't know. Just if there's not a show that I put on there,
You know what? One that we're going to talk about, but it's more on the, but it's on the same vein of being comedic. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All right.
So, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a show that I genuinely enjoyed up until a point. Alright,
I would say that too. Yeah.
probably gets talked a bit more about than some of the other shows we have discussed already, but
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think its first 5 seasons are some of the best.
Alright, so this show was mostly a comedy.
Yes.
It was a comedy first, and then it was like later down the line where I think they delved into like the cop stuff.
Yes, it was, for one, primarily a comedy. Secondary was, it was a cop show.
Yeah, like I didn't know it like at the time because I didn't like know him from most of his work, but it was a show that pretty much promoted that Andy Samberg plays a cop, and his new captain is a square.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it developed and grew from that.
Yes, I would say for those that have seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's one of those where it was first primarily a comedy, developed into a cop show. It was very strong for its first 5 seasons. I'm correct, you have to remind me on this. Jake and Amy's child was born at the end of 5?
No,
Or was it 6?
oh, what? No, okay, so it was 8 seasons, and I think it was 7. I think because it wasn't that long before the show officially. Okay, so season 6 or 7, it at the time. NBC, it was NBC, right?
Yes.
Alright, so whoever owned the show cancelled it, and then the fans like joined together and got it renewed for a season 2. And then season 7 was like the comeback season. I don't think it. I don't know the numbers of that, but like, in the general atmosphere of that, that was like one of the first signs of.
Yes.
No, I actually have to look it up.
It was season 7, so I was wrong. Because for me, I would say Brooklyn Nine-Nine's a show I would enjoy up until that point.
Fox. It was Fox that owned it, and then it moved to NBC.
Yes.
For 8 seasons, okay.
Got 8 seasons. I didn't enjoy the last season. So I personally felt like it should have ended after Jake and Amy had their first child, because that was a Halloween special, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't remember. Honestly, I think it should have ended after Gina left.
That was 5, wasn't it?
It was more season. I think it was season 6. Because at end of season 5, it was Jake and Amy's wedding.
Yes.
Yeah, and then that's when the show got canned and moved over to NBC. Because Fox cancelled it.
Ah, Fox, we enjoy your cancellations.
Yeah,
And they wonder why they got bought by Disney.
But yeah, season 6 onwards, I would say maybe. Maybe that's when Gina left? I actually don't know.
Can't remember, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a show I enjoyed up until a point. I couldn't get into the last season. Again, that's probably because, like a lot of cop shows at the time, it got affected by the BLM stuff, and there will be another show that we will talk
Let's
about.
make that the next show, I guess.
That it did, and I've recently rewatched that part of the show. But annoyingly, Brooklyn Nine-Nine was one of those shows that got affected, and it never really felt the same, and it kind of affected the...
Yeah, okay, so I would say this. I don't generally mind them delving into a topic like this, especially since, like you said, due to real-world events, that show was like one of the biggest shows in the world.
Yeah.
So it tackling like themes and stuff like that, I didn't mind that. And you're even now from what I remember it, full of, Captain Holt to kind of go through that. I felt like was interesting to the character.
You see, I'm not against them tackling the subject. I think they did a really good one with Terry back in the earlier seasons.
Okay, so yeah, that move. We'll get to that episode. After you.
Yeah, because there's a difference between tackling the issue and then real world events happening and you are forced to tackle the issue, because it doesn't really lead to writers being the most creative. I find there's a very big difference between activism writing and actually writing, and it all just comes down from that perspective. I am someone who I enjoy entertainment for escapism.
Of course.
I don't mind real world stuff being in my entertainment unless it's derailing from what the show's about.
I think it's also, like you said, the show kind of was on its last legs when it tackled these issues.
Yeah.
Because the last season was like all about that, and by that point I was also petering out. Because it got canned and I made peace with that, and then it moved over to Fox, and then I think around the time you and I were going to university, so I wasn't like able to watch it with my family as much.
Yeah.
But so yeah, by that point I was ready to say goodbye, and when it finally ended, I watched the final episode. It was enjoyable. It was like the best way they could end it, and that was that. But yeah, like you said, with activist writing and stuff, when it tackles these kinds of issues, I always think back to like Fresh Prince. Because like that show was a comedy, but it also tackled serious subjects since its very first season.
Yes.
Like always. And I felt like that's the best way for a show to do that.
And again, Fresh Prince, it didn't derail the show just to tackle those issues.
Yeah, like there's not like an entire season dedicated to the social economic issues.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And again, we are talking about for especially at that time, a state that generally did have racial tensions at the time.
And we're not saying like it's not important to tackle these issues.
Yeah, it's one of these things where both me and RixArt has had heated discussions on.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying that we both live in the UK.
Yes.
And most of these shows we're talking about are in America.
Yes, I think there will be one set in the UK.
I put a couple of UK shows on there. But the main point is, it's kind of a different political climate here than it is there.
Yes, like, this is not to say that we don't have
Like, we have our own problems, but
yeah,
like
but they all
the everyday of like African Americans, I can't speak to that.
yeah, and again, depending on where you are in America, and your said experiences, it is also a heated debate within said community. And again, from outsider looking in, UK has problems, America has problems, but it's not really it's one of these things of, is it the same as it was back during Jim Crow and
Now we're losing the plot.
yeah, like if it is it back like the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, and to an extent 70s. Most people who grew up from that time, from both ponds, will say no, it's nowhere near the same. Is there issues across racial communities? Sure, but it's not the same as it was pretty much 60 odd years ago now. Like we are to coin a phrase from great men, we are standing on the shoulders of giants in terms of under the law equality. If we're talking about other issues, that's a different matter, but we are generally at the end of the day talking that we are post most of these issues. I mean, how one of the things that
at least we should be.
We should be. To be fair, it's like one of the things that a lot of people, like if you're a rational person, body cams. We've seen that we're talking about cop shows. Body cams are both a thing that was heavily promoted by certain communities in America, and in Britain it was promoted generally across the board. But it's also something that cops want, is body cam footage, because at the end of the day, if you shoot a cop and they don't have a body cam, it's a lot more harder to, in the eyes of the media, to prove their innocence or guilt at the end of the day. And
well, yeah, before we like spiral deep.
Yeah, we can because this will be the next show we'll talk about, because in the same film. But let's finish off Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Sure. I'll talk about the Mubu episode. So that episode, to me, is like one of the best episodes of the show. Like it, because like that was one of the first instances of like racism in the racism, like tackling that. To me, when I was first watching the episode, it took me by surprise that, oh wow, we're actually tackling this. And guess what? I'm not bored. I'm not rolling my eyes. Because at the same time, I was watching a show called Blackish, and that's not a cop show or anything, but that show, I would say, is the epitome of soapbox writing.
Yes.
It's like again, I'm not in America at the time. I don't know like the day-to-day stuff like that. That's like your niche. That's up to you. But for me, I was just getting tired of it.
Again, and
like you're a sitcom. Make me laugh, okay?
Yeah, and again, this is why I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine did a good job when it did go into more the cop things, tackling cop things, dirty cops, the way cops used to be, and I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine did a relatively good job on that.
I would say it was always a progressive show.
Oh, hands down it was. Like this is not
very well. I mean, Captain Holt.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite characters.
At the end of the day, Brooklyn Nine-Nine on the tier of conservative to progressive in the American context of what those means. Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is probably the most, if not the second most progressive show we have on this list.
I was like a few years ago, I looked up like central themes of shows, and one person wrote that the theme of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is what a police force in America should be. And I think like that perfectly encapsulates it.
And yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Moving on.
So yeah, you want to take this one because I personally never.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about what I think is probably the best modern cop show, and that is The Rookie. Like, at the end of the day, I think The Rookie is by far the best modern cop show, and I put that all down to the actors. I genuinely think the cast of The Rookie is great.
Yeah, great. It does have great characters, yeah.
To basically explain the show, it's a Nathan Fillion show, and the whole concept is divorced dad, son goes to college, and he's finally getting divorced from his estranged wife, and he doesn't know what to do with himself when he's caught in a bank robbery. This is all based on true events, by the way. The show is based on a real person.
Who wrote a book that the show is based on.
Yeah. And so he moves to LA and he becomes a cop. And it's basically following him from a rookie to a full-fledged officer.
Yeah.
So, and it is... Because I've recently rewatched this and I'm on season 6 at the moment of The Rookie.
Yeah, my mother and brother watch the show, and sometimes I'm in the room, so I catch some story arcs.
Yeah, season 1, and I can break this down a bit more. Season 1, when I first watched it, was great. Like, I didn't have a bad thing to say about it. Rewatching it, it's a different story. But I would still say season 1 is a solid first season. It has some moments that I think generally stands out. In terms of cop shows, there isn't a cop show I can think of where the captain dies in season 1.
Ooh, no.
And it doesn't actually tackle what it's like to be being a cop, and especially in a place in America where, in relative comparison to New York, they have about a third of the number of cops in LA compared to New York. So New York has 40 to 50,000 cops, and LA has about 12 to 15,000 cops.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's strange thinking this from even the UK concept because I think London is closer to New York than it is LA. I'll double check that now. Hold on. Let me just have a look. I can do that now.
See, I'm doing scene 11, right? That's like not one of the shots we've swapped.
Yeah, you're doing scene. That's...
It's the hospital fight.
If you want to do that one, go for it. Let me actually check my list real quickly.
I'm just like, I have scene 1 did that, scene 2 did that, you did scene 3.
Yeah, accidentally.
You're also doing scene 6, so I'm doing scene 5.
Yeah.
Completed that. Then, scene 11 is here.
Let me check that. Hold on.
Yeah. This is such a small tangent here, but I also love the ships of the Rookie.
Yes. I can.
Like Angela Wesley, Tim and Lucy, some days. I also like Nyla and her husband. I just live for that relationship stuff, I guess. But mostly Angela and Wesley.
Angela and Wesley, yes. If we can talk some characters. You do have scene 11, but if you want to take scene 7, be my guest.
Alright, scene 7. Let me just refresh myself.
Scene 7 is the first hospital scene. So this is Darnell waking up in the hospital after scene 6.
Hey, what? Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, what? Actually, I haven't done any action scenes at all, so I'm just... I mean, I'm already in the shot.
Yep, then go for it. If you want to do scene 11, go for it. That will be the end of Act 2, near the end of Act 2, so...
Alright. So these next coming weeks, you're gonna see me animate scene 11.
Well, I'm going to have a lot of feedback for while he works on.
Yeah. A push comes to shove, we can help each other, but as you were saying.
Yes, I'm just, number... Oh. Yeah, we in London. We're closer to New York levels than we are LA levels of the Rookie. But going back on the Rookie, I generally find the show does a great job of how the actual system works, and some of the best characters in this show for me is Wesley and Angela. Now, Angela is for many reasons, but I think she's definitely one of the better written characters that has been there from season 1. Like,
Yeah, cool.
season 1, nice starting ground. Season 2 is where it finds its voice. Because it's the first season that actually has a long running storyline.
Which one is that?
That would be I'm forgetting the detective name. He's the detective that comes in. Hold on. Let me just. Detective Armstrong. Detective Armstrong, who is my favorite character from that season. Armstrong, by far, was a great addition to season 2.
Yeah.
Let me get to season 3. Now, when I first watched season 3, it felt very preachy because it was tackling the issue we've already mentioned that kind of suffocated the final season of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I looked into why this was the case, and it was they wanted to keep one of the actors. 2 actors came for asking to tackle the issue. Okay, not a problem. One of the actor is one of my favorite characters in the show. Makes complete sense why they would bring this in. So I had like no problems with them wanting to tackle this. First time watching it, it is a bit of a drag because it takes off a good chunk of season 3, despite the latter half of season 3 having the better storyline.
Yeah.
What is Mexican cartels, and I love my Mexican cartels.
Yeah.
As someone who spent time in Mexico, anything that tackles the cartels, I am a fan of. But season 3 was tackling basically a racist cop, and they got a great actor to play the role. So anyone that's seen Superman Returned, Atom from the Arrowverse, they got a genuinely good actor.
Yeah.
But it only did the bare bones of it. What is a bit of a shame. And the annoying thing is the actor they wanted to keep on decided to leave at the end of season 3. Like, and when I mean leave, I mean he even refused to do a couple scenes for the next season to play out his character. What was a shame because his character was the prodigy. He comes from
Cop family.
Yeah, a cop family, and his whole storyline was going to be moving into what is dubbed the Rat Squad, pretty much internal affairs. And I genuinely wanted to see that for that character. He was definitely a character that, and if I'm remembering it, it's West. Yeah, West.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Jackson West.
Jackson West. Great character, in my personal opinion, and I wish the actor didn't leave. Upon rewatching it, it's not that bad. They do a decent job. My criticism is them not actually trying to make it a bit more complicated. Like, they do have these one-off comments that his new training officer is someone who primarily has worked in bad prisons, so he's a bit jaded and has to better or not word, he has a preconceptions on what criminals look like. And if they actually tackled it from that point of view, I would have liked it a bit more. But overall, season 3 is a lot better than I remembered it being. And then when they actually get into the Mexican cartel, because it's a female-led cartel, and generally, as the storyline progresses, the head of cartel's son gets killed in LA. And she gets this kind of relationship with Angela, who, again, one of my favorite characters. She's pregnant at the time, and she basically kidnaps her. Wesley makes a deal with the criminal to get information on her location, and they
the Red Power Ranger from Power Rangers SPD.
Yes,
just throwing it out there.
I know. What to me it throws me off because he plays too much good. He plays Elijah, so Wesley goes to Elijah. This gang leader gets the intel he needs, but has to become a dirty lawyer, a mob lawyer. And it's great. And then you get to see the rest of Angela, and then the whole next season it is dealing with the aftermath of Wesley's deal with Elijah and how much problems that gets in. And it's great. Like, The Rookie is one of those shows where we've already mentioned the best relationship, what is Angela and Wesley, and it's pretty much cop and defense attorney.
And they have such good chemistry.
You could swear these two are like real life couple, but they're great actors. You then have probably the most complex character, Tim, who lifelong ex-military, lifelong cop, doesn't want to be a detective or anything. He likes being on the streets. And it definitely falls under the Kevin 11 from Alien Force dilemma later in the seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what sense?
If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But overall,
I don't know what you mean. I haven't watched.
So, strong character, but constantly gets beaten.
Oh, the Wolf effect.
Yeah. That's the better way to go about it. I'm not a big... I know Worf from Deep Space Nine, where he's actually a badass, so that has no reference to me, so...
Yeah, but... Yeah, side tangent, but do we have the hospital set for Blender?
We should. Give me 1 sec. Let me check if it's...
Also, how do I change the outfit again?
Go to pose mode.
Yeah.
Tap the big circle over his head. Go to properties.
Okay. Alright. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah, this always confuses me.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Here we go.
Got no one is hospital. Let me check the environment. It should be. I know I have the set somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Lucy, I like Aaron.
Yes,
Jackson's
Jackson's replacement.
replacement.
Aaron by far, you have Aaron and the new one that recently replaced Aaron, although he's came back. Hold on, let me have a look.
My brother's on that season. I know one of the characters, like one of the new rookies. He's the reason why I don't want to be in the room anymore.
Okay.
I saw ahead of time what this character's gonna do, and I hate characters like that, so I just don't want to watch that.
Yeah,
Won't say anything, but I'll tell you like after the stream.
No, because yeah, you have Aaron, who I enjoy because he was accused of a crime in France. He gets acquitted, and because of that experience, he wants to be a cop. But he comes from a very rich family.
Yeah.
So it's one of my favorite ones. You then get, after Aaron, you get the transfer from Texas. I'm trying to remember his name at the moment in the show.
I have no idea.
It's one of these shows that it goes for a lot of cast members.
Miles Penn?
Yes. I believe it's Miles.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people that leave.
Leave and come back. The worst one for the show was Bishop at the end of season 1. Then you have Jackson, that mainly affected the whole writing process.
So, yeah, I was gonna say that. Why are all the black characters leaving? But I'm reading it now, and
yeah,
I'm not getting into it.
I don't mind getting into it. I know with the actress of Bishop, she accused, I believe it was the producer,
and a fellow actor that was in the show.
Yeah, Jackson left because he didn't want to work on a cop show.
Yeah.
So,
and Aaron left because
it was a mutual leaving. Yeah, I believe it, but he has came back since.
So at least he's on good terms.
Yeah, he's one of the few actors that left on good terms. I believe it's the same for the former captain, but I'm not 100.
Well, I think that was a story decision.
Yes. That's why I can't really say one way or the other. But it had a lot of turnaround. It's a show that it took a season to find its place. Season 2 is its strongest. Season 3 has great elements in it, but was a little bit weaker than season 2, especially when they did Dirty Cops and that, because they introduced a female serial killer who, damn, she was terrifying. You would think she came off the set of Criminal Minds with the way she was.
Yeah, I love the actress.
Yeah. And mad respect for the showrunner and the team behind the Rookies, because she was, I believe it was cancer. So they filmed it. They filmed her last appearance before she left, and I believe it had two different endings in case of what happened to play that character off.
Yeah. So her name is Annie Wershing. And she played Rosalind Dyer in The Rookie, and she passed away in 2023.
Yeah. Well, what's a shame. Great actress.
Yeah. I didn't see her in much, but in everything that I've seen her in, two shows are on the list, by the way, so we can get into that later. Yeah. She usually plays like the psycho or the sociopath, and she does it very well.
I'm preparing to make joke on women and psychopaths given the modern stories going on at the moment, but
nah,
I'm gonna save that because YouTube.
Yeah, femme fatales, I guess. She's good at playing femme fatales. So yeah, you got everything you needed to.
Yeah,
say?
The Rookie's one of those shows. There are some things that will annoy you. There's an episode concept that I know the fans hate. I don't mind them as much. There's a few I don't like, but I agree with the fans, and that is the documentary episodes.
Okay, so now I was beginning to wonder because I keep seeing them, and I keep thinking that my brother's watching the same episode.
Yeah.
And then you were telling me that no, they do documentary episodes. I'm like, oh, huh? Yeah, they do, don't they?
They've done 4, and then the first one is with Aaron's, what happened to with his whole everything that happened in his past. Which it wasn't a documentary episode, but it's not a bad episode. I think that was the second. The first one, but they're not the best. They are that's one thing I can give the Rookie with its props. They don't mind experimenting. They generally don't mind experimenting.
Yeah. I know the recent documentary episode has Sam and Dean from Supernatural.
Yes. And it's them.
Yeah.
It's them talking about their time on Supernatural.
Yeah. We're gonna do a Supernatural retrospective. That's why I keep bringing up the show. But yeah. So.
Yeah.
You were saying?
To finish off the Rookie, if you want to enjoy a modern cop show that is actually good,
it really does tackle how hard it is to be a cop.
And I know RixArt mentioned that there's a character that I personally don't like, not because of the actor. I think the actor's a good actor, and when they dial him back on the activism thing, he's a genuinely good character.
Which one is that?
That would be what's his name? He's husband of.
James.
Yeah, James.
Nyla's.
Yeah, Nyla's husband. James is a good character in places, but he.
Right, so he runs like an outreach program, right?
Yes, when he's introduced, he's not a bad. They have a few moments where he's just a badly written character, and there's a lot of criticisms on both sides of him. But he's one of those characters that, when they write him good, he's a good character. When they write him as an activist, he becomes quite a badly written character. And I mean that in the nicest way I can think of when I say badly written character, because the two examples I like to give, and this is something that cops we'll also talk about. So one is Nolan, Nathan Fillions, the character, basically sees there's a problem with the park in this neighborhood that he's been assigned to, and he decides to try and help out by repairing it and everything like that. And then James basically rips him on actually trying to help out. Another one would be he's having a activists meeting at his home where his wife is, and all the people in this activist group, they hate cops. And any cop would tell you that kind of situation can get messy for both them and the activists. Yes, especially if you're coming off a 16-hour shift as a cop. James is definitely one of these characters where when they write him good, it's a shame because they have another quote-unquote activist character in Wesley. But Wesley's one of these characters where, as the shows progress, despite him keeping his principles, he does develop as a character.
Yeah. It's also just like the positions of both their jobs. Like Wesley is a lawyer, So,
Yeah.
you know, like, naturally, he could be around the other characters and they can focus on him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But James is... Like, his work is very important, don't get me wrong. But I guess it just doesn't mesh well because, you know, like you said, it's antithetical to cop work.
Yeah.
Because he's dealing with a lot of people who mistrust cops and stuff like that, and law enforcement in general.
Yeah. And again, I don't mind James and his placement in the show. It's just one of those things where less activism in the writings room, more focus on character. James would be on par with Wesley, because Wesley, from when he's introduced to where he is now, has changed as a character. He went from being a defense attorney to people who couldn't afford a defense attorney, to working in the DA, to quitting the DA when it went tough on crime in the show. The show makes a very different point of being tough on crime to being like
Preservation?
Just being tough on all forms of crime and not the heavy crime kind of thing. So we're talking about if someone's, you know, done something small like public urination, they'll throw the book at them. So Wesley and his friend quit and they become defense attorneys again.
Right.
But it feels natural for the character.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
And that's the main thing I can say. The Rookie is worth a watch, but RixArt, I'll let you pick the next show because I can ramble about the Rookie forever.
Alright. Before I go into this next one, which is kind of connected to the Rookie, kind of, I'll say this: John Nolan's the least interesting part of the entire show.
Yes.
I said it.
Yes.
I love the other characters. I can't really root. I just can't get into Nathan Fillion's character. But
yeah.
I'm sorry. You say your thing.
No, I'll wait until after your butt.
Oh no, okay. I was gonna segue to Castle.
Where
I really enjoy him in that show.
Yes. Going on that, Nathan's character in The Rookie is stronger in the earlier seasons than it is in the later seasons, but is the complete opposite of Castle.
Yeah, no, it's like that was his first cop show.
Yes.
Alright, so
go on, you take it away because you know how I can rant about Castle as well.
Alright, so yeah, I got into Castle during my last year of uni. I needed a new show to watch to keep busy. And it was between Castle and Bones. Watched the first episode of Bones. Couldn't really get into it. Then watched the first episode of Castle and immediately I was hooked. And I recently rewatched it with my family, for better or worse. And I would say it doesn't enjoy it as much on a rewatch. Maybe I was watching it with other people, who knows. But I would still say it's like one of the best shows I ever watched.
Yes. And Castles is one of those shows where it gets to a point and it jumps the shark. It's a strong show and then it jumps the shark.
Let's get into that right now. Okay, so after the wedding, at some point after like what, season 6?
Yeah, it was
season 5 or something.
I can double check.
It's always season 5. Like after a show goes past 5 years, it's very hard to maintain itself. Because okay, so I think it went when it tried to make the characters larger than life.
Yes.
Okay, it's like when Michael Scott like explains why Die Hard 4 didn't work.
Yeah.
Because in the first movie of Die Hard, John McClane was just this regular guy, and then in Die Hard 4, he's like like on motorcycles fighting secret agents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, just kind of a leap, stuff like that. That's how I feel about Castle. Because they tried to make Castle like the son of a secret agent, and then all these secret agencies want to recruit him, and it just got too much.
Yeah, it pretty much gets to this point in where Castle becomes less about its original premise, what was a writer tagging along a detective for writing, and it wanted to be something else, and it kind of ruined the whole show. Like, season 1 to 5, just... It sort of ended with Beckett and Castle's wedding. That's where the show sort of ended.
That was season 6.
Yeah, season 6. That's where it sort of ended. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where...
It was one of those shows where once the two stars got together, it petered out. So
Yeah.
they had to make like more exciting things to hook people. Like, what was Castle doing instead of getting married to Beckett?
Yeah.
And just so you know, I do like the episodes where they do jump the shot. Because there's an episode where they go to another planet, there's an episode where there's an invisible suit, there's an episode where there's ninjas. I love all those episodes.
Yep.
I just do not love when they did like this secret agency kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was not needed.
It's primarily because it got to a point where you felt like everything was becoming good in terms of where the characters were at. And then it just misses everything. And it's a shame. It's generally a shame because it's one of those shows where when it starts, the concept alone hooks you.
Yeah, it's like, and also the two leads, Castle and Becca, like easily had very good chemistry.
Yep. And it's just it's a shame that it became what it became in the end. And Castle is one of those shows where Castle gets accused. The first episode opens up with someone copying a crime that Castle did in one of his novels. Oh. What generally was a, and that's how he gets involved with Beckett. He's trying to prove his innocence. And he then decides, I actually want to follow her and write a book based off her. And that's how the whole show begins. And I'm trying to remember the serial killer. This episode.
Jerry Tyson.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about Jerry Tyson.
Go for it. It's because I remember that twist to this day that they think this guy's gonna be a victim, and he turns out to
be this criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
Played by Michael Mosley, underrated actor. He was in Scrubs season 9.
Yeah.
If people watched that.
What is now retroactively no longer canon.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, like you said, he at first when we meet him, he's just like a cellmate, right?
Yeah.
And they think that the triple killer is someone else. So then they question him, and he's pretty much just, he's just mucking about with them. Because something that he did was that he was made by one of his future victims.
Yeah.
And then decided to go to prison. So, to hide out, wait for the heat to die down, and then he tricks his cellmate to kill that woman who made him 4 years later. And then when, everything gets out, he negotiates for an early release, so everything in his plan was going perfectly. Until Castle said, "Oh, you're the real triple killer," because, it's like he's failed to properly act the fake humanity.
Yeah.
Like, he lied about having a girlfriend, and then when the guy, his cellmate, was trying to kill that girlfriend, he didn't, react much to it when Castle and Ryan told him. So, that's when Castle figured it out. Then Jerry Tyson knocks Ryan out, takes his gun, has Castle dead to rights, and Castle, like, does his usual things in this situation. He deconstructs Jerry Tyson. And then Jerry Tyson flips it over on him by deconstructing him, like, you're obsessed with death. You follow it around, and you want to get so close before it completely consumes you. That's what drives you in life. And Castle is silent, because he knows it's right. So yeah, Jerry Tyson, like, one of the best recurring villains I've ever seen.
Yeah, and if I'm remembering correctly, it gets played out in the first 5-6 seasons, the story.
Alright, so season 3, that's the first mention of him.
Yeah.
Season 4, we don't see him, but the gun that he stole from Detective Ryan comes back to haunt him. Comes back to haunt the precinct.
Yeah.
And then season 5, he shows up again in one of my favorite episodes where he completely, like, frames Castle for murder. And then he comes in, rubs it in Castle's face. And if he hadn't done that, Castle would have been doomed. Like, he would have been doomed. And then season 6 is when Kelly Neiman is brought in. That's the actress we were just talking about on The Rookie. Yeah, a lot of Castle stars guest starred on The Rookie. So, there's that. And then season 7 is when he comes back officially, and that's the whole final showdown.
Again, explaining why 5-6 seasons are the best number for these kind of shows.
Yeah.
But yeah. Then let's get into Beckett's character, who I genuinely love. She becomes a cop because of her mother's death. What remains unsolved. I believe it's season 2, if I'm correct, that they find her mother's killer.
They do, yeah. Okay, so at first in season 1, Beckett kept it buried.
Yeah.
She moved on. And then Castle, because
it's Castle.
One of his, it's like one of his character flaws is that he can't really leave well enough alone. And Beckett, to him at least at first, was like this project, and like he had like this ownership of. So like he delved into the mom's death because he can't help himself. That really upset Beckett. So the first episode of season 2 is like them like going over that, because at the end of season 1, Castle found a solid lead into her mom's death, but Beckett was just gonna leave her alone. And then she meets her mom's killer, shoots him to protect Castle, and then that starts like her investigation into the guy who ordered the hit.
Yeah. And then the reveal is it's this secret group of corrupt officials.
No, well, yeah, I guess it got retconned, I guess.
Yeah, because the last I remember it, her old captain was involved.
Okay, let's talk about that. So, just to explain the story here. In the 70s, I think, 60s, 70s, Captain Roy Montgomery, who was the captain for the first 3 seasons, spoiler alert, was involved in kidnapping mobsters and ransoming them off for money.
Yeah.
He and 2 other cops were part of that. One night, it went horribly wrong and Roy's gun went off and shot someone. That someone was an undercover cop or agent. And then, it's like, there was evidence or something. It's like a Senator Bracken, just to name him right now, was the DA at the time. And he began to notice the patterns, and he figured out it was Roy and the other 2 cops. So he blackmailed them to, give him the ransom money to fund his campaign. And then when Beckett's mom was she was the lawyer for the mobster that they were going to kidnap that night before the undercover agent got killed. So, she started digging into what happened that night, specifically.
Yes.
And, yeah, so, like, Senator Bracken, like, couldn't have her snooping around, so he sent Raglan, her murderer, to take her out. And that's what happened. And Roy and the two cops covered it up. So that's why Beckett couldn't find any leads, and that's why for so many years everyone thought it was just random violence. And I always like there's like, to go on a tangent, there's an episode where Roy and an old friend of his, that's the new DA, and that DA didn't like act on a tip or something, and Roy recorded him. And then exposed him, stuff like that. And then at the end, Castle says, it just sucks that after a lifetime of good, he's only going to be remembered for this one bad thing.
Yeah.
And then Roy's actor, like, has this look on him. Like that statement just completely shot him. And then when you figure out what he was involved in, that scene makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where was I? So by the time Beckett and Castle were like investigating, those two cops were killed. Like, one was shot before he could tell Beckett what actually happened, and the other one was imprisoned for, kidnapping people and stuff like that. And at the end of season 3, one of Senator Bracken's men got to him. And then Roy is revealed that he was a part of the conspiracy, and he dies in the shootout to protect Beckett.
Yeah.
Goes out hero, and love him or hate him, I always loved the twist.
Yes. To be fair, that's season 3 and 4, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, he dies at the end of season 4.
Yeah. It was great. It was definitely one of those things where it made Castle. It was, that was that.
Yep.
And it's a shame on where Castle then ended up being after that, because after that, the only thing that was really left in the story was their will they, won't they.
Well, okay, so after Montgomery's death, we still needed to find out who killed Beckett's mom. And also there was that whole thing with Beckett being shot, and...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good storyline. And then, at the end of season 4, Beckett and Castle went their separate ways, because Castle was now in charge of protecting Beckett from these men, because Roy, couldn't do it anymore. And then, Beckett found out, and that's when they split up. Beckett tries to go after another lead for Bracken, but, was almost killed. So the Fellowship had broken apart at the end of season 4, and that's when Beckett and Castle decide to get together. And then season 5 was the opening, and that's when we find out the identity of the mastermind.
Yeah.
And it's someone we never met before. And they tried to, to their credit, they were hyping him up throughout the first episode, but it's like the thing with Monk now. It's like, if you want me to be shocked, then introduce him earlier.
Yes, and again, this is the problem with a lot of writing. As you can see, the progression of writing as we're talking of these shows, because after this we'll go on another one that did this at least. And it's generally a bit better, although I know people consider it terrible. But no one can set there's something called set off and payoff, and that is a lost art in modern entertainment. And I think RixArt would agree. It's generally a lost art where you'll set something up early, and it takes ages for it to pay off. And that's something that happens with Castle, unfortunately. Great show. Finish this thing off. It was enjoyable, but not the same. But it's definitely a high recommend.
I do. They don't. Like, it mostly is the two leads, that's the show's focus, but the supporting cast is also great.
Yes.
Like, Detective Esposito and Ryan, they should have had a spin-off.
Yes.
They really should have had a spin-off. Lainey, she was great. Martha was easily one of the best mother figures I've ever watched. Alexis was alright. She humanized Castle. That was her purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, just getting to the background stuff. Season 8 was not supposed to be the last season, but you know they cancelled it. There was a lot of like a tumult behind the scenes and stuff. Like they were gonna do what they did in Criminal Minds and fire Beckett and Lainey, and focus on Castle and the boys, I guess, something to that effect. And you can see this because there's an entire episode where it's just Castle, Esposito, Ryan, and Adam Baldwin's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? If that was to become the show, it would have been sketchy. I also really like it because I like those three characters together. But yeah, that's Castle for you. Yeah, what show do you want to talk about now?
What brings us in? We might make this the last one. I don't know yet. The Mentalist.
Alright, had a feeling you would choose that one.
Now, have you watched The Mentalist?
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
And my brother keeps watching clips on YouTube, and we both want to watch it together, but we want to finish Elementary first.
Ah, yes. You know what? We'll do Elementary after this one. So we'll roughly go over this because it's more just talking. Elementary had one too many seasons as well, from what I can gather. This is from what I've seen from the fandoms. I've watched bits and pieces of The Mentalist, but it's generally an enjoyable show. With the main plot line up until the last season being... I'm trying to remember the killer's name. Something Red.
Red John.
Red John, yes. Who I like as a villain. I like how it all starts because the main character basically goes, oh yeah, Red John's just a loser at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then Red John basically kills his wife, and that then leads him
and daughter
to try and find him. And it has many shifts, like Red John basically being very similar to the main character. Pretty much the Sherlock Holmes, Moriarty. Oh, yeah. Why can I not say that name right today?
Moriarty.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, from what I've seen of the first episode, very charismatic lead.
Yeah. You don't know you don't know the ending and who it is, do you?
I would say I did spoil myself because I watched episode 2 by myself. And then when I was like on TV Tropes researching episode 2, I won't say it, but yeah, I did get spoiled on who Red John is.
Yeah. So they do a twist of, did he kill Red John? Answer to that is no, he didn't. Red John put someone in his way to see his reaction. And I generally love it. The Mentalist is a show I have to actually spend a proper run through, but it's one of those shows that came out in the 2000s, ended the 2010s if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. I think it ended like 2015, right?
Yeah. But I do know that fans think it should have ended a season earlier.
Yeah, that's kind of a running thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to watch The Mentalist. That's it was a coin toss, but one day I'll get there.
Yeah, and I think you said the next show we'll be talking about, or at least it's first season.
Yep, first season, because you're currently making your way through that. I finished it some time ago.
I finished season
Elementary.
1.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, we both finished season 1. I'm on season 2. Haven't finished it yet, but Elementary, which is, you know, it's appropriate to end this with a Sherlock inspired, like a take on Sherlock.
Yes, this is I like this take on Sherlock. Okay, I have watched, because it's one of 2 Sherlock shows that came out around the same time, and Elementary is better, where Sherlock was Sherlock Holmes set in modern day, had 3 great seasons, then was terrible afterwards. Elementary so far is a genuinely good modern take on Sherlock Holmes. I like.
It is,
Yep, go on.
I'm sorry. Like you'll think like making him like an addict and stuff like that would be like a lot edgier because that's what everyone was doing back in the early 2010s. But no, it's still really good and it really tackles the
Addiction.
like I'm not an addict or anything, but I was like really engaged to like learn about like sobriety and what makes someone an addict.
And as someone who is a Sherlock Holmes fan, I like the take they have, because for anyone that knows Sherlock Holmes, he dabbles in drugs. This has been, I can't remember if it's from the original source material or something that has developed over Sherlock over time.
I only just found out about that because I always thought like the addiction thing in Elementary was something exclusive to that show.
No.
I never knew like it had like basis in the law.
I'm just.
You were saying?
Yeah, hold on. Sure. If I'm yeah, because I'm trying to remember if it's something. Yeah, so it was something that was in the original source material, mainly because it was set in a time where all that was legalized. Oh. I got you zoomed in too much there. And it's something that I like Elementary actually tackling, is drug addiction. As someone who knows people and has also given up, just if you're wondering, just cannabis. It's why it's a theme within Dædscúa upon itself. But generally, it's one of these things where Elementary starts off that, yes, Sherlock is in a bad place, went into rehab, he's now came out of it, and his father has got a solo companion to help him through the next couple months post-rehab. And that's where it starts. That's where we get Jonah Watson into the picture. But I'm not a big, I've mentioned this on previous streams, I'm not a big fan on sex, race or sexuality changes. I gotta admit, I do like the Watson in Elementary. I think she's a...
Well, it's Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, Lucy Liu being in the show, to me, is like the biggest, like, WTF moments. I guess it makes sense, like, she did TV before. I always associate her as, like, a movie actress. And she is easily the biggest star in this entire show. And the fact that she's not playing, like, I know she's playing, like, a main character, but, like, she's playing Watson, not Sherlock.
Yeah.
So to me, she's a humble actress. She's very humble.
I also have to give my hats off for the actor of Sherlock. Like, damn.
The fact that they kept him British is also, like, a giant tick in the show's favor.
Yes, like, the whole thing being he was working in London and he moved from Manhattan because of an event that happened in his life. I genuinely love. Do you want to spoil much of Elementary, or is this one that we recommend that we're not going to?
Yeah, let's keep it because I knew who the actress was. It got kind of Like, before I found interest in a show, that's something I always knew ahead of time. But for now, I'll just recommend it.
Yeah, it starts out as weekly crime of the week kind of thing.
Some of it is interesting.
Yeah. Then we get to the episode M. And this is where...
That one.
Yes.
That's when everything changed.
There's a serial killer that was in the UK. Sherlock was hunting him. It leads to the event that makes him go overboard with drugs. And yeah, it's by far the best reveal, being like, look, I'm just an assassin. I've been hired to take out people in a particular way. That's not my thing. I do like how they keep the Britishness of this. So the serial killer is from Britain, so he's British. And the best thing is when Holmes actually catches him. He goes, "Oh, you're an Arsenal fan. Another reason for me to hate you." And I thought that was
I was
great.
figuring it out.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
A very English thing to do.
And Sherlock's actor is a Chelsea fan, so that's a score point in my book.
Yeah,
the episode following after this, where like Sherlock has to accept the consequences of going rogue for that one. I also feel like, because Sherlock is like a smartass, right?
Yeah.
Like he's an insufferable know-it-all. But the other characters do not let him get away with it. Yeah. So when he like steps too far, there are consequences to that. Yeah. And in season 2, there's like an entire storyline between him and Detective Bell, where Bell just spoiler alert, but
yeah, right? Go for it.
But like, did you?
No, go for it.
Alright, fine. Just do spoiler. I won't say what it was, but Sherlock does something that messes, because of Sherlock's general apathy. I would bet lack of a better word. Bell stops being his friend for a few episodes. And you know what? It was well deserved, because, you know, Sherlock had that coming.
Yeah. And that's what I like about this adaptation. Sherlock doesn't get away with the shit he normally is able to pull off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, there's something to be said, like, if someone's, like, just really good at a job, maybe they should just, like, different rules apply to them. But no, this show doesn't do that.
Yeah. It's probably the better Sherlock one of going, yeah, Sherlock is somewhat neurodiverse. Like, you can clearly tell he is, if not autistic, he's neurodiverse in some way.
But most definitely, I mean, you do not want to like put addiction in a neurodivergent system.
Yeah,
I feel like that's how he plays it.
Yeah,
and I'm engaged with that.
And for people who have autism or Asperger's or some form of neurodiversion, it is a sad statistic, at least with low-level drugs like cannabis, that it is a very high percentage used by us. It is a very, very sad statistic. I believe it's either 40% or 70% knew some form of it has some form of drug use, legal or illegal, depending where you are. What media won't show you. What is, again, a crime upon media at the end of the day, but
your show does not shy away from that. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And into the ugliness and generally just the day-to-day of interacting with people.
Yes. And Watson is definitely, in this adaptation, closer to what Watson was in in the original books, he's the human side of Sherlock, or in this case, she's the human side of Sherlock.
Yeah.
Look, what?
Yeah, it is.
Again, I am happy to see. This is something that, with Sherlock Holmes, in particular, Elementary and Sherlock are the two most recent adaptations in TV. You have the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies that...
Well, there was Young Sherlock that came out last year.
I keep forgetting that.
It's a great show. It is what pointed us to actually watching Elementary. You know, my family.
Yeah.
My brother and sister, they watched it first, and they watched it with me and my mother. I got really into it. Great show. One of the best shows that came out this year. And I highly recommend it to you.
Where can I legally watch it if I don't have to have devices?
Prime.
Prime. Cool. I've got Prime.
Yeah, it's like 8 episodes, I think. A lot of great actors.
Okay, and it's set in Victorian London, I take it.
Yeah, I told you. It was like
yeah. Cool.
A lot of historical events happening.
Definitely something that's on my list then, because I will watch something when it's on my list. But yeah, Elementary. Love the twist in the end we get with it. Highly recommend it for people. Cool. And yeah, I can't say much more about it without spoiling it, and I don't really want to spoil it. Like, I was happy with the twist in the end. It's one of the few times where I can generally say I was happy with a twist. I saw it coming, I won't lie.
Yeah.
From the flashbacks, I saw it coming. But it was definitely something where I was there like, I am happy they went in that direction.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
So you ready to call it?
I think we can start wrapping it up. I do have some updates in terms of our own production stuff. So I am currently in the process of finishing off the Pitts Bible. I know I keep mentioning this before. I am currently redoing it more for colouring, so it's easier for people to read. I'm hoping people will enjoy it. It's definitely something I really, really want to get out soon. I got the other thing that I want to get out, but now that I've got more things to add to it, I need to find time to actually work on it. But yeah, as you can see, I've got one shot left for scene 4. What would lend Mark only one scene left for Act 1. And currently, RixArt is jumping all the way to the end of Act 2 with his work.
Yeah.
Work. How many shots have you managed to get done today, my friend?
2 shots.
Nice. And yeah, I think we'll call it today because we've done about two and a half hours of work today and talking about shows. How many shows did we actually get through in the end?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. Yeah.
No wait, 10. 10.
Yep. We got through 10. I think out of we had a few others. Because I know you've watched Bones.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned that. Do not think I've watched any of the other ones. I know of White Collar. I know I've watched episode 2 of White Collar.
Yeah, that's also one of my favorite shows. When we have time, like on another stream, I'll get into it.
Yeah. Hopefully this will be a Sunday stream. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
and this will probably be titled something along the line as friend tries to convince one animator convince the other animator to watch X shows. So yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed it today. Let me just save our work and
I'll just throw this out here now because I already put on the thumbnail. But Death in Paradise is also another British cop show set in not the Caribbean, but you know, paradise and stuff like that. Let me just because it's like my mother and brother's show, right? And they watch it all the time. So Saint Marie. Fictional Caribbean. Yeah, I was right. Yeah. It's in the Caribbean, and it also has some cast changes. I never like watched those stuff, but it does have like a ton of spin-offs. It's a successful show. If you're British, go watch it. Good show from what I've seen of it. And there, we talked about 11 shows.
Yeah, and that will be it for today. That's why it's now on the ending page of just our avatars. I hope you've enjoyed our stream. I know we haven't had much live viewers today, but I hope you really did enjoy this. Even if we get no views, we enjoy doing these streams because it gets us to do our work properly.
Yep.
At the end of the day, so I hope you all have a great evening, morning, or middle of the day. This has been OneManBluMan, and
this is RixArt,
and we hope to see you next time. Adios.
Until then, Twanano.